everyone! In this tutorial, we are going to learn how to open and create images in Photoshop from the home screen. So this is our home screen right now. Notice that we've got home selected here in Photoshop. And what you're going to see here is usually some tutorial options. If you have any recent images or projects that you are editing, you'll see that here below. But if you've never used Photoshop before, you won't see images down there. Now we're going to explore what's going on here on the left. We have the option create a new file to open images, but what we can also do is browse existing files that we've saved to our cloud, as well as open images directly from Lightroom. This one is really cool. Now I want to show you really quickly before I mess with anything on the home screen that if I go into Lightroom, let's say I'm already working in Lightroom, if I know I need to edit this image a little bit more in Photoshop, I can actually open this in Photoshop directly from Lightroom. So if it's open here, I'm going to go to the toolbar on the right, and you have the three little dot options, and you have the option to edit in Photoshop. So if I click on that, it's going to go ahead and open up in Photoshop. It might take a second. And there it is. So without having to export the image, I can simply edit it in Photoshop directly from Lightroom. Now there's another way to access your Lightroom photos. So let's say you don't have Lightroom open. Instead you open Photoshop and you can actually come here to where it says Lightroom Photos on the left. Now because you're logged into the Adobe Creative Cloud with your school email, you're logged into everything. So Photoshop lets you access Lightroom photos. So you can see these are recent ones I've taken, but I can see all of my folders, and I can also see all of my albums that are currently in Lightroom. So I'm going to go ahead and open this album and just choose a photo to open. Let's go ahead and open this first one. And when I do that, it's basically downloading the photo and opening it in Photoshop for me. Really great and super easy. Now you'll notice when you open images that they all will open up on separate tabs like this. It'll show the image name, and it will let you exit out of them. If you've made no edits to them, we could simply exit out of them. Sometimes it might ask you if you want to save. If you need to save edits, please watch the video for how to save in Photoshop. I'm going to go ahead and say no for now, since we're just learning how to open and create new documents. Now another way to open something maybe that you've already been working on is files. So in another video, you're going to learn how to save things in Photoshop. And we'll be saving to basically the Adobe Creative Cloud. So anytime we save to the cloud, you can access those files here. Now, I don't have any saved yet, but if I do, and I have current projects I'm working on, I can find them here in the Your Files section. Now, if I have images or a document saved to my computer, an easy way to open up anything that's already saved to the computer is to go to File, Open. Now, if you're ever not in the home screen, you can always find Open going to File at the top and then going to Open there. Either way, it'll open up a window that you can browse your computer, OneDrive, or a flash drive for anything that was already saved onto the computer, and you can open it that way. Now the last thing I want to show you is how to create a new file. So we just talked about how to open files in a bunch of different ways. How to open on your computer, how to open your files on your cloud that you've already saved, and how to open files directly from Lightroom itself. Now let's go ahead and go to create a new file. And you can access this at any time at the top from File to New. Now what this does is it opens up a window for new documents, and if you have any recent ones, you could select them. And it also shows a bunch of saved ones. And basically all of these have different settings here on the right. Now you can use whatever you want for personal stuff, personal use, but if you're following a project that requires you to open a new document, make sure that your settings on this right side match mine. I will always tell you what height and width and resolution, all of this information you need before you create. What I just had on the screen, here is what the new document will look like. You usually always have a white background with the specific dimensions that you asked for.